Hello everyone and welcome to the penultimate episode of Series 4 of Cover and Natter, a Pro League special with my very special guest, Giselle Ansley. Giselle, thank you so much for joining me.
No worries, thanks so much for having me.
Right, okay, so a little bit about yourself. Over 150 caps for GB in England. Obviously that famous Olympic gold in Rio 4 or 5 years ago. Triple European medalist, a gold, silver and bronze. Double Commonwealth medalist. Basically, if there's anything to win in world hockey, you have done so, and you're an all-round gem, so I'm absolutely delighted to have you join me. Thank you very much.
No, thanks, Em. Yeah, listening to that's quite weird, actually.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. When I was, researching it all through and writing it all down, I knew that first minute of this Cover and Natter, you would hate absolutely every minute of it. But like, incredible achievements, and I look forward to picking your brains a little bit more. But obviously, I start every Cover and Natter by finding out how you like your tea. Now, I have some inside information that maybe not people outside of our bubble would know about you. So we're going to just roll with it, and we'll see how we get on, okay? So 5 quick fire questions on how you like your tea. Question number 1, what is your warm beverage of choice?
A hot chocolate.
There we go, everyone. She's ruined it already. I mean, I should have had a hot chocolate instead of my tea. I've got my tea here, but okay, we're rolling with the hot chocolate. Okay, so thinking about the hot chocolate, when is the best time in the day to drink it? Is it first thing in the morning or last thing in the evening?
No, last thing in the evening. Okay. Yeah, I don't really have a hot chocolate before midday.
No, I get that. Too sweet.
Too sweet. Yeah, too sweet. Yeah.
Okay. Now this is a question. What is your stick or whisk accompaniment of choice?
A brownie.
Okay. So for anyone that's unaware, I don't know where you've been, but basically, Giz has her own baking brand called Stick or Whisk. Check it out on Instagram. The brownies are phenomenal. I heard through the grapevine, I obviously don't eat brownies, but well, that's a lie. But okay, which brownie? Because you make quite a few.
Yeah. I love a good triple chocolate brownie, just the classic. But I obviously, I've got to say I love all the flavours, don't I?
Yes. I mean, they look the part on Instagram and they taste phenomenal. So yeah, check them out. Okay. Question number 4. Which GB hockey teammate are you most likely to make a warm beverage for?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a good question, because I am terrible at making tea because I don't drink it. Yeah. So there's a lot of tea lovers. I could not make one for Sarah Jones or for yourself because you're avid tea fans, so I could not do that. So think of making hot chocolate. Leah Wilkinson doesn't drink coffee either, and neither does Holly Pern-Webb. So it's got to be one of those two I'm going to make a hot chocolate for.
Okay, well, very interesting. I wouldn't mind a hot chocolate, to be honest with you, but yeah, I don't know whether I'd trust you with the tea making, so that's fair. Okay, question number 5. Which GB hockey teammate are you most likely to share your brownie accompaniment with?
Oh, again, good question. There are some other decent bakers in the team who I think would appreciate it. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah,
the likes of Amy Costello or Lizzie Neal. Yeah, let's go with them.
We're a bunch of bakers. You've got the team that like to bake, such as yourself, phenomenal bakers, and the ones that like to eat, such as myself, that just in-house. But yeah, okay, fair enough. You all found it out and heard it here first that Giselle Ansley is an avid hot chocolate drinker rather than tea. Fair. Each their own, isn't it, really?
It is indeed.
Yeah, so I mean, we've parked that bus and I've pre-warned you that every Cover and Natter involves 3 questions, okay? So without further ado, the first question, I'd like to touch upon your journey in the sport, okay? So from the first minute you picked up hockey stick all the way through, your journey to the top of our sport wasn't necessarily the normal, through the England hockey pathway. So I'd just like you to touch upon that a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. It definitely wasn't a kind of typical journey. I went to state school. I didn't play much hockey. Well, there wasn't really hockey at school until my sixth form, when my mum started to do a bit of a club. So yeah, my hockey came through club, and I'm still, you know, absolute, you know, club fan for sure. And so yeah, I started playing when I was about 10, but I've been on the side of a hockey pitch for, you know, as long as I've been alive. My mum was a player, and then she turned into coach and umpire, etc., etc., as her poor knees gave up on her, or her hamstrings, you know. So yeah, so I basically played club hockey through the age groups, and then I ended up playing at Plymouth Marjon's ladies hockey club, and kind of there I got my first taste, I guess, of playing kind of a decent level of hockey, but still, like, international hockey was just not a thing in my mind at all. Like, it sounds crazy, and lots of people, you know, say they dreamt of being an international hockey player or whatever. Like, that wasn't what my dream was, because I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know anyone in the team. You just didn't see it. It wasn't on TV. That you just, unless you travelled, you know, unless I'd travelled, say, to Nottingham when there was a Champs Trophy there, etc., like, I would not have ever seen it. And I didn't play National League hockey, so I wouldn't have seen anyone on the club kind of stage either. So yeah, I wasn't picked the first year of, like, county under 15s, wasn't picked for that. Then I got picked in the under 17s, and eventually then I kind of got a trial. I went to it was the first year of the Wessex Leopards and the JRPC stuff that had started, wearing, you know, tops that were halfway up around your stomach and stuff like that. And I played for the Wessex Leopards for that, and Martin Rogers was the coach, and he was kind of from Bath area, so more from down south, obviously, because I come from Kingsbridge and down in South Devon. And he basically said, I'll give you, you know, come along for a trial for the England stuff. And I was thinking, oh my goodness, like, under 18 England, you know, these girls had played a couple of years of 16s together, and some of them were already in the under 18s. And I literally went there and I was like, I don't know anyone. I'm so out of my depth. I was this tall, skinny, scrawny player who, when I was younger, like under 15s, had been told I'd never make it because I was too tall. And I was just like, you know, all these girls, and I was like looking up at them thinking, oh my goodness, like, everyone talks about these girls, like, around this group as, like, the next kind of big England players and everything, you know, the likes of Alice Sharp and Shona, and then there was Susie, Kate and Josie Inverdale. And I was just thinking, oh my goodness, I don't deserve to be it. Anyway, needless to say, I was not selected. I was told to go away. I'll probably might get looked at again in 6 months' time, but that basically I was very raw and I needed a lot of refinement. So I was thinking, okay, interesting. It's probably still the case now.
Not at all.
So I went away, and I was just like, I am never going to get looked at again. Like, girl from down in South Devon is never going to get looked at again. Anyway, true to his word, Martin Rogers looked at me again, and I went on my first kind of trip with the under 18s, my first and last trip with the under 18s. I went to Ireland, and we just had a couple of games there. I didn't play all the games. I only played 1 or 2, I think. And that was kind of my under 18s done, finished. But I was a cricketer. So I chose to go to Loughborough University because I wanted to be in the trial for the MCC Academy that was at Loughborough for cricket. And anyway, the first team coach at Loughborough for hockey at the time contacted me just after results day when I got my grades to go to Loughborough, and was like, do you want to come and join pre-season? So I just went, yeah, absolutely, why not? Went along, and I guess I've never really looked back from there, to be honest. I said yes to every opportunity that I got. I stepped foot in a gym and did proper gym sessions for the first time, and yeah, I just had the best time, and I learned so much from the girls I was playing with, but also from Jerome, and from being in the gym. And I then, the following summer, so what was it, my summer of my first year at uni, it was the under 21s stuff, and I trialed for that, and I actually got in, and there was Europeans. That's kind of when cricket took the back seat, and hockey kind of really came to the fore. And I went to that Europeans, and Danny Kerry, the senior coach at the time, came over to watch because it was just after London 2012, and he was looking at who he might, trial for the senior squad. And he came along, he watched, and I remember sitting in a change room afterwards, and Craig Keegan, who was a coach at the time, said, some of you girls will be getting trials for the seniors. And I was just like barely paying attention, because I was like, this is never going to be me. But then that kind of September, October, November time, we had a trial period. Didn't find out until the following, February or something. So in that time, went to the Youth Olympics with the 21s, which was an incredible trip. Although the hockey wasn't our best.
We had a fair few injuries,
didn't we, Em?
Yeah, unfortunately.
And so I had a great time with that. And then a week later, I was on a plane out to South Africa to make my debut for the England squad, the England seniors. So that was the 4th of February 2013. I made my debut. And that was kind of my journey into senior hockey. I joined this full-time centralised programme in 2013 in the April.
So, I'm not going to lie, for anyone that's just listened to you talk over the last, 5-10 minutes, that's just utterly inspiring. What I like is that, it's probably been, 10, 12 years, that whole journey, but yet what you've accomplished in that time is just phenomenal. And I think, it's so important to tell those sort of stories, because for anyone that doesn't necessarily, see themselves as part of the player pathway, or doesn't necessarily see themselves at that level and see the role models that they can aspire to be like, I think you are the prime example of that. And if you, take yourself back onto that, 2013, when you made your international debut, this is going to be a hard question to answer, but can you just sum that up? How did that feel? The girl from Devon that didn't necessarily think that she had a hope in hell about reaching the top of her sport, making your international debut in 2013.
Yeah, I think it's still was a very surreal experience. I didn't, as I said, I'd never expected it. And I remember it was obviously in Cape Town in South Africa, and there were lots of girls making their debut at the same time, some of now obviously really good friends, and it was just a crazy experience, thinking that I was pulling on this kind of England senior top. And I've still got it, even though it turned yellow with sun cream. And the wind in South Africa was crazy. So going one way on the pitch, if you chucked an aerial, it honestly flew. And I was thinking, this is great. One way I could chuck the ball nearly the full length of the pitch. Going the other way, the ball pretty much was like a boomerang, went up and came straight back. And I was thinking, okay, I'm gonna have to change my game plan for this second half. But no, it was an amazing experience. And I think at that time, I was just thinking, I was always told when I was younger, enjoy playing club hockey. That's the most important. And that was when I wasn't picked for county under 14s, under 15s and stuff. And I remember going back to club, and my coach just always being the most important thing is, Giselle, that you just enjoy playing club hockey. And so I was thinking back to all of that, and just to enjoy it, just go out there and enjoy it and play the smile on your face. And that's pretty much what I did. And I just felt so lucky and privileged I was getting that opportunity.
Yeah, well, I mean, thinking about it now, 150 caps plus, in addition to that first cap in South Africa. And again, this is probably a very hard question to answer, but if you were to look back at your international career today, one that has been incredibly successful, but also speaks volumes for the person that you are, and also the player that you are. You're the most hardworking, dedicated, diligent, professional person I've ever met. So all of these achievements are very well deserved. But if you were to look back, what would you say is the biggest highlight, or the most proudest achievement you've had?
I guess, I can't go and ignore the fact that the win in Rio, for sure, that was just an unbelievable experience. And it was funny, I was talking to Lily the other day, and the way she then described it was kind of, as she said, like piggybacked on, 15 years of hard work from some of the girls. And it does very much feel like I did that for sure. Joining, in 2013 and having that experience in 2016, which definitely has to be one of the best days of my life. And one of the best, 2 weeks of my life, just the whole experience and everything around it was just incredible. But I also have to say in 2015, when we won the Europeans on home soil, and coming back from 2-0 down against the Dutch and just in front of the home fans was incredible. I will never forget that either. And the celebrations after, I just remember just like all of us just piling on top of Maddie, and this poor Maddie underneath with a pile of 18 of us. So that was definitely one of my highlights. And I guess actually something completely different. Sorry, I've gone more than one here. But,
no, that's all right. That's what happens when you're a bit of an ace and you're too good.
The last, obviously, I had Achilles surgery in start of 2020, in March 2020. And obviously I had it before, and we knew that the Olympics was going to be postponed. And I think I have to say that was one of my biggest achievements, as well as coming back from that. Because I had a good 7 months of rehab without any access to physio. My mum took my stitches out on the kitchen floor, changed my dressings and stuff. And I had physio over the phone. So our physio was trying to like demonstrate how to do the massage through my foot and my calf over the phone, and then I'd have to try and copy it. I had no proper like equipment, so I would use a scaffolding pole, and then thankfully a local CrossFit gym lent me 2 20-kilo plates, so I just basically did everything with that.
Wow.
And yeah, I just think that to get back, obviously I was supported so well from the physios and everything like that, but I was just proud of kind of everyone that was involved in that, because it's just something I hadn't come across, we hadn't had to do before. And yeah, to get back out on the pitch was definitely one of my biggest achievements.
Yeah. I mean, 3 quite different highlights. Obviously, the Olympics being the pinnacle of our sport, I would have been, shocked, horrified if you hadn't mentioned that. Also, obviously, the Europeans being on home soil. Both, may I add, both tournaments coming up this summer. So fingers crossed we can repeat those antics and successes in a few months' time. But yeah, I guess people don't necessarily see what happens behind closed doors, and like being faced with the global pandemic and the timing of that injury probably, I hope you don't mind me saying, probably couldn't be worse. But the fact that I'm going to let everyone into a secret. The girl is on fire in training right now, and the matches that we've had recently, and just shows that, through all of these, highs and lows along the journey, it's all going to come to fruition, hopefully again this summer. And I guess that kind of leads me on nicely to the third and final question, if that's right. So I'm looking ahead to this weekend's games. Bearing in mind that this series is all about the Pro League and the Pro League special, I must reiterate that at time of recording, GB women are playing America and GB men are playing Spain. Okay, so a lot of things can happen. We don't know in this crazy world, but at the moment we're playing America this weekend. What are you expecting?
I think with America, that you're going to get a fast, fit and relentless team. That's kind of how I would describe them. And they play very much together. They are kind of a very strong group. Everything they do, the selfless running they do for each other, etc., etc. And they will be in the contest at all times. Traditionally, America have always had good corner routines, very well drilled. So I know that's going to test us as well. So yeah, I think with America, definitely the fitness and the just never ever giving up, like they are never beaten. So I think we're going to have to be at the top of our game. But it's going to be brilliant. Everyone's building obviously towards the Olympics this summer. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see kind of the tactics that they play and etc. etc. So yeah, it should be good.
It's one of those as well, like looking back at the 2 matches in 2019 when we played them, we won 3-1 at Spooky Nook when we played away, and we won on penalty shootout on the return fixture at Lee Valley in April. So both are quite, you know, tight score lines, you know, in terms of, you know, the next few months coming up. Do we think we're going to expect another tight scoreline? Obviously, with 2 wins, goes in our favour, I think.
Let's hope so. We've got to say that, haven't we?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's going to be definitely two tough games, 2 tight games as well. I think in world hockey at the moment, the beauty of it is that on any given day, anyone can compete with anyone. The gaps are not big at all, so I think it's going to be an exciting game to watch. It'll definitely be fast paced, that's for sure. 2 fit teams, 2 teams that like to attack as well. So yeah, I think it's going to be a good one to watch.
Bring
for
it
sure.
on. Buzzing. Okay. I mean, I'm not going to lie, this is absolutely flying by. So I've just got one final thing for us to do, and that's for a few quick fire fun fact questions. Okay. Now this is gonna test your knowledge. Just, you know, run with it. You know, we'll see how we get on. Okay.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. Question number 1. Okay, as quoted on their website, in 2016, Plymouth Mahjong had their hockey club's proudest moment as a former player represented Team GB at the Rio Olympics. That former player obviously being yourself. Now, for those that don't know, you've had a pitch named after yourself in Plymouth. But the question is, how many miles away is the Giselle Ansley hockey pitch to Bisham Abbey, where we train as GB? Okay, your options are A, 116 miles, B, 216 miles, or C, 316 miles?
This is terrible. I should know this. I've driven this so many times.
Yeah, that's what I thought, but yeah, I wouldn't have a Scooby.
216?
Oh, boom. 1 out of 1. Very good. Very, very good.
Worked out the time it takes me to get home by about the speed I drive at, you know?
Yeah, on a good day, 1 hour. Okay, yeah, 1 out of 1, absolutely. 216 miles. Thank you, Google Maps, for that. Okay, question number 2. So alongside Laura Unsworth, you are the 2 GB women's hockey side's vice captains. But what was the date of when you captained the side for the very first time?
31st of March 2019.
Oh, blimey, you're too good. How did you know that?
So it was my birthday?
Yeah, I mean, that's not bad, is it? I mean, captaining your country in a pro league game in America on your birthday, that's not bad at all. Okay, 2 from 2. Too good. Question number 3. Okay, you scored your first international goal in 2013 when England played South Africa in the Investec World League semi-final. For those that wanted to know, I was actually there in the stands that day. But what was the score?
Oh, no.
Oh, did you not want that question?
I have absolutely no idea. I'm going with 2-1 to us. 4-1.
4-1. Smashed it. Yeah, goal fest. Can you remember much about the day, about the goal?
No, all I remember is seeing pictures of how high I jumped, and my ponytail is, well, my plait is literally like that in the air, and I'm just screaming at Kate, like.
Memory you probably will never ever forget, but pretty cool. Okay, so 2 from 3 so far. Last one. Now this is courtesy of a guy called Cuppa and a Statter. Colin Pike himself, Surbiton legend. He's helped me out with this one, and it's a very good question. Okay, so throughout your club career, you have scored against 25 different teams in the National League for both Loughborough and Surbiton. Now, I think that is phenomenal in itself. I'd be lucky if I've scored 25 goals in my whole entire career, but yeah, that's quality. But which team have you scored the most goals against? Is it A, Holcombe, B, Beeston, or C, Bowden Hightown?
Oh,
it's a fantastic question.
It's a very good question.
And I can't take any credit.
I've played Beeston probably more times than I've played any of the others, because I played them for Loughborough. Didn't play Holcombe for Loughborough. I'm ruling out Holcombe, Beeston or Bowden. Oh, I'm going with Beeston.
Are you sure you want to rule out Holcombe? Are you absolutely? It was Holcombe.
Was it Holcombe?
Yeah, mate, you've scored 9 goals versus Holcombe.
Oh wow! Well, I didn't know that.
And I must say as well, like the Surbiton Holcombe games over the years have often been like top of the table clashes, you know, in finals. So you're obviously a big game player.
Interesting. Well, I didn't know that. Thanks, Colin.
Yeah, Colin Pike doing wonders. And make sure you let Sarah Jones and Leah Wilkinson know that, because yeah, their defence is obviously a little bit ropey. or not. But yeah, that's cracking. But anyway, I mean, this 30 minutes is absolutely flown by. It's nearly up. My mug of tea is pretty much empty. And all that's left for me to say is thank you so much for joining me and being so generous with your time. I really appreciate it.
No, thank you so much for having me. Yeah, I loved it. Love chatting with you as always.
Always. I mean, we could have lasted for much longer, but I'm quite restricted on the time. But yeah, for anyone wanting to watch the GB sides in action this weekend, all games will be televised on BT Sport, so don't miss out. If not, you can follow all the games through the Match Centre on the GB Hockey website or through the social media channels at GB Hockey. My final guest of Series 4 will be revealed on Wednesday at 6 p.m, so keep your eyes peeled for that. But in the meantime, keep your kettle boiled, keep nattering using #CuppaandNatter, and I'll see you again same time, same place on Thursday. Thank you so much, Giselle.
Thank you. Bye.